We got Peter Doocy. We got Phil Wegman. We got the Gladiators, the full lineup here for you all today. Leading off with the Gladiator, Fox News reporter Peter Doocy questioning Karine Jean-Pierre at length here regarding Joe Biden's #1 domestic policy. Is it the economy? Is it inflation? Is it abortion? Which is it? Let's see how she answers this one.
Thanks. Thanks, Karine. Following up on something Steve was asking, what is President Biden's top domestic priority now? Is it inflation or is it abortion?
The president's going to continue to talk about issues that matter to the American people. And abortion is one of them. Majority of the American people disagree with the decision that the Supreme Court made, the Dobbs decision. That is, a majority of the people disagreed with that. When it comes to the economy, the president has made it very, very clear. When it comes to inflation, it is his #1 economic priority, and he is doing everything that he can to make sure that we lower prices for the American people.
It's his #1 economic priority. We've heard the president say inflation is his top domestic priority, but now he's saying come next year, his first bill would be abortion related. So is his #1 domestic priority abortion or is it inflation?
Well, let's not forget what the president has done the last 19 months. He has made the economy his top priority.
Here we go again. I guarantee you she's going to give a litany of things that they've done that actually hasn't done anything to curb inflation or help the economy and do this or that. She always says, well, let's be clear here. Let's go back to what we have done, Peter, and I'm not going to answer your question whatsoever. So here we go. I guarantee you it's going to happen. Let's roll it.
He's passed the American Rescue Plan, by the way, as you heard me say all the time. No Republicans voted for that in Congress, and it was a plan that helped us get back on our feet with the economy, that helped us gain or create 10 million jobs that we had lost. It also put money in people's pockets. It also makes sure that businesses were able to open up, schools were able to open up, people were able to go back into their homes, save their homes. And so that was the American Rescue Plan. There's the bipartisan infrastructure legislation, which was, again, to invest in ports, invest in the infrastructure that was dwindling. And so that is something that he did. The Inflation Reduction Act, that is lowering cost for.
When she goes on these tangents here, I guarantee you at some point here, let's just put some bids out here, folks. How many of you think that she's going to be like, that matters, Peter? That matters. That makes the difference. That matters. It's going to happen. It's what she does. It's a talking point for her, even though it's not really a talking point.
The American people. He is working on the economy every day. We just announced yesterday, hearing aids. 30 million people are going to benefit from hearing aids, saving thousands of dollars a year. So that's working on the economy every day.
So you said he's been working on the economy every day for 19 months. Now Bloomberg economists are forecasting a 100% chance of a recession. So how is it that we can be barreling towards a recession and the economy is, as the president says, strong as hell?
So here's the thing about the economy, and I've said this many times. You've heard this from Secretary Yellen. You've heard this from Brian Deese, who runs our Economic Council, is that what we are seeing right now is the job market is strong. The labor force is strong. And that is not what we see usually before a recession. And so a lot of that is because of the work that this president has done. We are seeing an economy that is resilient. We are seeing an economy that is going into a transition with more stable.
What is this transition into a stable what? We're going into a recession. We are in a recession. Let's just be a matter of fact about it. You had 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth just because the labor market's looking good. And she was right in what she said in terms of the labor market looking good. We don't plan to see a recession following that. But that's what you had. The fact is the fact, Jack. And she doesn't want to deal with it. So let's go on with a bunch of her rambling here.
Growth, more steady growth. And that is because of the work that this president has done. That is because of the economic policy that he has put forward. And let me remind you, the economic policy that he's put forward is about building the economy from the bottom to the top and the middle out. And that is so important because it means that we leave no one behind. It means that there's equity at everything that he puts forward. And so again, you're going to hear from the president about gas prices. That's, again, trying to make sure that we continue to keep prices low for the American people.
Last one, just if President Biden keeps going to the petroleum reserves when there are energy problems, Is he giving up on his campaign pledge to end fossil fuel?
So I want to be very clear on that piece. There is no shortage of opportunity or incentive for oil companies to ramp up production. We've made that clear. Oil companies are ranking in record profits, as we have seen. They have showed it themselves. We've seen it ourselves, while more than 9,000 approved drilling permits remain untapped by the oil industry. At the same time,
they'll keep touting out this 9,000 figure. It's actually over 9,100. They don't understand how competition works between oil companies. They don't understand that a lot of these permits that were chosen, they're not actually going to tap into and really ever use. They'll just actually expire. They don't ever talk about this stuff. They just go, well, there's over 9,000, 9,100 that they just haven't used, Peter. Again, why would you continually want to drill when the incentive isn't there and you're constantly making the oil companies the enemy? Why would they want to do that? And furthermore, yeah, they're going to have record profits. They just got done losing billions of dollars because the freaking governments, due to China, were all shut down. So you got supply chain issues. God forbid they make up their losses. Oh, whoa. And by the way, we're all willing to pay for it at the pump. We haven't reached the ceiling yet, of which we're all walking to work, taking public transportation, or riding our bikes. So the ceiling isn't there yet. We can't keep blaming the oil companies for increasing prices of which the consumer, you and I, are willing to pay. Do we like paying it? Of course not. Do I like paying $7 a gallon here in California? Of course not. But the thing is I'm paying it. I haven't gotten to that point yet where I'm like, enough is enough. But again, they're the bad guys according to the Democrats. They're always the bad guys. Anybody that's making a profit, any corporation that's making a profit is always the bad guy.
U.S. oil production is up and on track to reach a record high this year. Again, a record high. In fact, the United States has produced more oil in President Biden's first year than under the Trump administration's first year. Okay, we're going to move on.
So there she goes. She touts it. I guess I was a little wrong there. She didn't say, that matters, Peter. That matters. It's in the pocketbook. So whoever bet on that one, you just lost a bunch of money. Maybe she'll say it at some point here. She always does. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.